Hey guys, today guess what? We're doing the RPM cat delete. So what you need is 3/4 for their bong cover to tighten it up, 22 to remove the O2 sensor, a ratchet, 11mm to remove the bolt on the clamp on the pipe for the factory, and then to put back on the other one, it's 1/2 inch for the heavy duty clamp if you ordered yourself a heavy duty clamp. If not, don't worry about the 1/2 inch. We're removing the muffler in the back, so that's 13mm, so get yourself a socket. And then you need a T30 to remove the back plate, a couple of pry bars or screwdriver to remove that clamp in the front, because supposedly you have to pry it out. And if you don't have the hook spring tool, we'll get yourself an extension, because you'll need one anyways, and hook the spring with the wire in the back, and then twist it a little bit and pull away if you don't have enough strength to just pull on the wire. And that's it. So let's start. So basically, let's remove the black plastic. So there's going to be 3 up top. So this one here, I'm going to use an extension because I got the backup camera. If I use my drill directly with no extension, I'm going to rub it like I did the last time. So don't feel like doing that. So use an extension. And then 2 in the bottom, right here in the corners. There's 1. And mine won't just come off. I'll have to put it to the side because I don't feel like disconnecting my backup camera. So I gotta watch it so it doesn't yank on it. And just put it to the side. And yeah, I gotta cut the tie wraps. So sit it on the exhaust. Grab a pair of cutters. And start chopping tie wraps. Why is there's always one giving you a hard time? Okay, so now just sit this aside on the tire and not have to worry about it for the rest of it. All right, so now it's removing the springs. And I see everybody with vice grips and blah, blah, blah. And I see them banging their fingers and everything. And I get a real kick out of it because everybody's got a piece of wire in their garage or a cord or anything. So you basically just do this, grab it both hands, yank, and off it goes. Every one of them. Oops. Might as well pick it up now because we'll forget it later. And just repeat. So, how simple do you want it? Just grab it, yank, and that's it. So, everybody I see doing this with vice grips and long nose and everything is kind of a funny joke. Some poor guys that banged all their fingers and hurt themselves trying to pull this thing off when it's a simple fix. The ones in the back are harder to get the wire in a little bit. They might take you 10 more seconds to do, and obviously stiffer. Yeah, so that's why you grab the extension, wrap it around, twist it as much as you can, put your hands on each side of it, and then just yank it out. There you go. There's the first one. Let's grab the other one. So now the only problem with that is you have to untwist one side. Actually, you got to untwist both of them to retwist them if the other one's stiff. And grab it on top here. What's nice about that, you can actually curve it, bring it back towards you. This is an old trick that everybody's got from pulling springs off their sleds back in the day. So everybody that drives sleds and whatever, doing their pipes and all that, that was the best way to do it with the 2 strokes. Come on. All right. Let's see if this one will be easy. There you go. So, as simple as that. And to put them back on, it's going to be the same thing. This one's jammed back here. And there we go. Where'd it go? On top. There. So we got these out. So keep your wire for later. Now we're at the 13 mil for removing the muffler bolts, and there's 4. So there's going to be 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So 13 in the back and 13 in the front. I'm gonna put some light on here, help you guys see. So, I'm gonna grab something to tie the knees with. All right. And then you do all 4 like that. So we'll cut that and we'll come back when all 4 are off, okay? So you guys don't have to waste your time. So we'll see you in a minute. The 2 long ones go on the passenger side. The 2 short ones with the washer go on the driver's side. And then after that, you just pull the muffler out and it comes all out. And that's it. That's how we get that out of the way. And now we're going to be loosening up the heat shields and the clamps off the heat shields. So get yourself a small ratchet and 8mm for the clamps. So you got the clamps right here. There's one clamp. There's another clamp right at the front. Alright, and then 10mm for the shield. Alright guys, so you remove the 2 hose clamps like we showed, and then this loosens the pipe because this hose clamp holds the pipe there, so you have no choice but to remove it completely. And then the O2, the bong or whatever, is connected to this right here. And then there's a tie wrap at the top here. So we got a slice. And that should loosen it. So just leave that dangling there. Now we're moving inside to the big pipe for the turbo. So we're gonna go take a look at that from the inside. So let's go. All right, so that's gonna be 11 millimeter. So it's always a good thing. Should have said that at the beginning, but you guys all know from watching this. Spray some WD-40 on. I already did yesterday because I knew I was doing this project today. But anyways, grab some WD-40. Okay, so this is the one you spray the WD-40 on. 11 millimeter with an extension. Will work just fine. Don't drop this nut because down there you'll have a hard time finding it. I'm not worried about it because I got a different clamp, but and don't forget there's going to be a gasket in between this clamp and the turbo. With the pipe and the turbo, there's a gasket, and it's very paper thin. So be safe because you'll have to buy a $30-some gasket US. How am I coming on this thing? Oh, it's almost off. So I'll put it, it's halfway again. So putting penetrating oil the day before is a very good idea, and it's still in there, so we're good. And then basically pull it off, separate it. My God, everybody says that that thing won't separate and it's tight as hell. That's 3 years without removing it. And then they say it's better to have a buddy at the end to hold on the pipe when you yank it out. But I'm just gonna yank it out like this. I'm trying to figure out where the gasket is. You don't want to drop it or break it. Be careful not to break it. She's stuck there on one side. So it's going to be delicate. No, I'm just gonna shake it a little bit, and look how thin that is. So easy to break and easy to mistake that you didn't put it on. So now I'm gonna remove the shield off this. So put your shield aside, you can reuse them on the other one. And now we gotta remove this thing here. So yeah. A little bit of WD-40, never hurt anything. Little steel brush, because I don't feel like having problems. All right, a little bit more. Because now it's actually going to penetrate. And that's a 22 mil. So either this fits through here, you can go around it. No, you can't. So it's the open end, 22 millimeter. So there. Hurts the palm of the hand a little bit. Keep at it. Your hand's the impact. Put that aside or sit it on top of this for now. So that's where it's going back in. There we go. Actually, this came out really easy. Like not even holding it there, you guys saw. And whatever everybody says that these are a nightmare and you have to use pry bars or anything. Well, obviously it's not even a nick, not even a mark. So yeah, so hard to get out, not for me. And you see how much dirt's baked on this and everything, so I got no issues. I wish you guys all everything that happened to me to take that thing out. That was a piece of cake. That works for you guys. So that's it for that. Now I guess we're checking everything out, make sure everything's okay, clean a little bit of stuff out, and reinstall that. So I'll be right back to put everything back together. All right, catch you in a minute. All right, guys. So time to put this thing back together. So basically, what I see in every video is the first thing I noticed when I seen these guys install this, the heat shield is sitting on an angle and they just crank the clamp. So, and if you go try to get to the access to the bong after, well, you got to remove, and screw around. So what I did is I just grabbed the marker, marked around the edge, grinded it, sharpened it around, and made myself an access hole with the heat shield for the second bong. That's what I did. I tightened this down, I cleaned everything good and everything, tightened everything down. And this little rubber here was sitting up higher and there was exposed wire here at the bottom. So I pushed it down and it kind of went over like a steel edge rim, and then I just taped it up, and I taped up the end as well. So that way there, it's heat, whatever, and stuff can get in because it's like a wire loom and dirt and debris. So I cleaned it all out and taped it up. So I did that. So next thing I'll do is I'll put a dab of dielectrical grease like I like to do to everything. So basically, just a little bit at the end. Maybe a little bit on the gasket. So it doesn't dry out right away. All right, so we got that done. And next thing I want to do is, anybody know what stainless steel does with thumbprints and oil leaving on the skin and all that? So you don't want to have your fingerprints imprinted on your stainless. I know mine won't keep clean forever, but whatever shows, at least want to keep it nice for the first weekend. So some alcohol. That's probably should have done this after it's installed. Do a quick like this, at least to the side that's exposed. But anyways, it is what it is. And try not to bang your thing at the end. So once it's installed, you guys can do that, whatever. So anyways, I ended up cleaning my shield a little bit, taking everything, most of the dirt off inside and off the clamps too, because who wants to put a stainless steel pipe with an old pipe that's steel, that's got rust on it and everything. So let's get this thing into place. So I guess this clamp's gonna have to go in afterwards, and then we're gonna sit this thing in there. So this is where having a buddy is fun. But I took the shield, the big piece off here, and I can slide that on afterwards. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna go in from the back here and watch your bong, your sensor. Lift up, sit that right here for now. And I'm gonna go put just want to see if I put my shield at the right place that I can clamp it. How's that gonna work? The clamp's gotta go where the shield is. So I guess that's not sitting there on that. I don't know how that's gonna I didn't take a look at that when I was holding it in on it. And that's like that. Alright guys, so we're done with the pipe. We put everything back together. And I know I skipped a few parts there for putting it back together because we were having a hard time with the hose clamp in the front here on the pipe. And what I did was I couldn't get it to clamp on. So I put a bigger one that I had and tightened it down, used it, squished everything down into place, and then took it off and then re-put the one back in place after. So I had a hard time with that. And then I had a hard time with the springs because if you notice these top ones here, they're pretty well straight. And the factory ones, they're bent backwards. So having them straight made the angle that you had to pull the spring and then try to bring it down at the same time, forcing it down to pull it. It made it really hard. So I could only get 2 springs on at a time. So basically what I ended up doing was grabbing a hammer, and once I had 2 springs in, I just banged them, these things here like I was showing you, and I bent them back just a little bit, and it was enough to make an angle. So I got 2 bent a little bit, and the other 2 I had already put the springs on. So just a peace of mind with the RPM ones. If you notice that, when you put it on, tap them, the welds didn't crack, nothing moved, nothing played, but I didn't go insane. I just tap, 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 and I got a little bit of bend and retried, and they hooked really good. So that's the only thing. And the sound, for me, the wife says that it sounds less loud, but we're in the garage, and I guess that I don't have half of everything back together because we're still in the process of putting everything back together and everything. So I don't know if you guys want to go listen to the exhaust in the back. I find that it's got a sweeter sound and a deeper, like, I find it sounds better anyways. So, next one's gonna be the blow-off valve and everything, and the charge tubes and all that. So we're gonna show you guys that video on the next one. And then hopefully other parts start coming in, and then we get the tune in and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. And appreciate you guys subscribing, because in the last week or so we had like almost 20 subscribers. So thanks a lot, and keep it coming, and I'll keep the videos coming. So we'll catch you on the next one. You guys be safe. Ciao for now. Bye.